After releasing Meng Huo, Zhuge Liang also rewarded Yang Feng and his sons, granting generous gifts to the tribal soldiers to demonstrate both authority and benevolence. Yang Feng and the others left with gratitude, deeply impressed by Shu's generosity. Meng Huo, however, retreated overnight with his remaining troops to Inking Cave. The terrain there was extremely strategic. 3 rivers, the Lu River, Gannan River, and Xiqing River, converged outside, forming a natural stronghold that was easy to defend and difficult to attack. The northern region was flat and fertile, suitable for settlement. 200 li to the west lay salt wells, providing essential resources. Further southwest led back toward the rivers, while to the south stood Liangdu Cave, surrounded by mountains rich in silver deposits, hence the name Silver Pit. Inside the cave stood palaces and ancestral temples. The local customs were primitive and mystical. They held seasonal sacrifices, slaughtering animals to worship spirits, sometimes even offering human sacrifices. Illness was treated not with medicine, but with rituals and prayers by shamans. There were no formal laws. Crime was punished by immediate execution. Marriage customs were free. Young men and women chose partners themselves after coming of age. In good years they farmed rice. In poor years they survived on wild animals. Each tribe was led by a cave lord, with chieftains below them. Twice a month, they gathered at Sanjiang City for trade. This harsh yet self-contained environment allowed Meng Huo to rebuild his forces once again. After returning, Meng Huo gathered his clansmen and declared angrily, "I have been humiliated time and again by the Shu army. If I do not take revenge, I am no man." At that moment, his brother-in-law, the Lord of Dailai Cave, stepped forward and recommended a powerful ally, King Molu of the 8 Nan Caves. This man was said to wield mystical powers, riding a white elephant and commanding fierce beasts like tigers, wolves, and venomous snakes. He also commanded 30,000 elite troops. Encouraged, Meng Huo sent rich gifts and a letter requesting aid, dispatching the Lord of Dailai Cave personally to invite King Molu. Meanwhile, he ordered King Duosi to defend Sanjiang City as the first line of resistance. At this time, Zhuge Liang had already led his army southward and approached Sanjiang City. From afar, he observed the city's strong defensive position, surrounded by water on 3 sides, with only one land route. The walls were fortified, archers stationed above, and poisoned arrows ready to strike. Zhuge Liang did not rush. He carefully studied the terrain and recognized the danger of direct assault. He sent Zhao Yun and Wei Yan to feign attacks. As expected, the defenders unleashed volleys of poisoned arrows. Soldiers struck by them collapsed instantly, their wounds rapidly decaying. Zhao Yun and Wei Yan withdrew and reported back. Zhuge Liang smiled calmly. He knew that such defenses, though strong, would fail once vigilance weakened. He ordered a full retreat, camping several miles away. The Shu army appeared to withdraw completely. Seeing this, the defenders relaxed, celebrating and neglecting patrols. After 5 days, Zhuge Liang gave a sudden command. Each soldier was to carry cloth, wrap soil in it, and transport it to the city walls at night. Hundreds of thousands of troops piled earth against the walls, forming a ramp. At the signal, the Shu army surged up the slope and stormed the city. The defenders were caught off guard, and King Duosi was killed in the chaos. Sanjiang City fell swiftly. Back in Inking Cave, Meng Huo was still reorganizing when news arrived. Sanjiang City had fallen, and King Duosi was dead. The shock struck him like thunder. Furious and shaken, he paced anxiously. The loss of such a stronghold was a devastating blow. As panic spread, another report arrived. Shu forces had already crossed the rivers and were advancing toward the cave. Just then, A confident laugh echoed from behind a screen. It was Lady Zhurong, Meng Huo's wife, a skilled warrior famed for her throwing knives. She volunteered to lead the army. With 50,000 troops, she engaged the Shu general Zhang Yi. Feigning retreat, she lured him forward and struck him with a thrown blade, capturing him. Ma Zhong, who came to rescue him, was also captured. Though she intended to execute them, Meng Huo refused, recalling Zhuge Liang's previous mercy, and instead imprisoned them. Zhuge Liang responded swiftly. He sent Zhao Yun and Wei Yan to provoke Lady Zhurong, repeatedly feigning defeat. At last, she pursued Wei Yan into a mountain path, where Ma Dai ambushed her with a rope trap and captured her alive. Zhuge Liang treated her with respect, hosting a banquet and releasing her in exchange for Zhang Yi and Ma Zhong. At this moment, King Mulu arrived with reinforcements. Riding a white elephant, he invoked magic. Winds howled, sand filled the air, and beasts surged forward. The Shu army initially retreated. But Zhuge Liang had prepared wooden beasts that breathed fire and smoke. The real animals panicked and scattered, disrupting Mulu's forces. The Shu army counterattacked and killed King Mulu. Inking Cave soon fell. Still unwilling to surrender, Meng Huo fled again and sought help from the kingdom of Wugua. Its ruler, Wudigu, led troops clad in wrought tan armor, light, flexible, and impervious to weapons. Zhuge Liang devised a plan. He ordered Wei Yan to lose 15 battles and abandon 7 camps, luring the enemy deeper. Growing overconfident, Wudigu pursued into Panchi Valley, a barren, narrow canyon. Though it seemed impossible to ambush there, Zhuge Liang had chosen it precisely for that reason. Once the enemy entered, the exits were sealed. Explosions erupted as hidden explosives ignited. The wrought tan armor, soaked in oil, caught fire instantly. The entire army was consumed in flames. Witnessing this, Zhuge Liang sighed deeply, lamenting the heavy loss of life. Meng Huo was captured once again. Yet Zhuge Liang released him again. On the 7th capture, Meng Huo finally surrendered wholeheartedly. He knelt with his family and swore eternal loyalty. Zhuge Liang did not impose rule or leave troops behind. Instead, he allowed local autonomy. The southern tribes, moved by his virtue, built temples in his honor. Thus, the south was finally pacified. Summary. This chapter highlights Zhuge Liang's completion of the 7 captures and 7 releases, a strategy not merely of military conquest, but of psychological domination. Rather than forcing submission through brute strength alone, he combined tactical brilliance, feigned retreats, ambushes, fire attacks, and deception, with calculated mercy. Each release of Meng Huo was deliberate, aimed at breaking not his body but his will. By the 7th capture, Meng Huo's surrender was no longer coerced but genuine. Most notably, Zhuge Liang chose not to occupy or control the region directly. Instead, he allowed self-governance, creating long-term stability through trust rather than fear. This represents a higher level of strategy, winning not just battles but hearts and minds. Knowledge points. 1. Lady Zhurong is likely fictional. In the novel, she is portrayed as a powerful female warrior skilled with throwing knives. However, there is no historical record of such a figure in official histories, suggesting she was a literary invention to enrich the narrative. 2. King Mulu and beast control are mythologized elements. The story describes him summoning winds and commanding wild animals in battle. While southern regions did historically use war elephants and unconventional tactics, the idea of controlling beasts through magic is clearly exaggerated for dramatic effect. 3. The fire attack at Panchi Valley is highly dramatized. The novel describes landmines and massive explosions destroying 30,000 troops. In reality, such weapons did not exist during the Three Kingdoms period. While fire attacks were used, the scale and total annihilation described here are likely exaggerated for storytelling purposes.